Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurhusni binti SUHAIDY and my metric number is 03DPR20F1001. Okay, so my member's name is Engku Nurhusni SYAKIRRIN binti Engku ROSLI. His metric number is 03DPR20F1060 and NORISHA BALQIS binti BAKAR with our metric 03DPR20F1057. Okay, so today we are going to present about three topics, which is transportation, wastewater and wastewater management, and lastly is agriculture and forestry subsectors.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurhusni SYAKIRRIN binti Engku ROSLI. My metric number is 03DPR20F1060. Today I'm going to present about transportation. Transportation divided by 4, which is road transportation, rail transportation, aviation transportation, and also maritime transportation. Today I'm going to present about the 4 one. The first one is definition of transportation. Transportation is a system or method for carrying passenger or goods from one place to another place. Next, I'm going to present about road transportation. Road transportation is main transportation of goods and personnel from one place to the others on the roads. Road is a road between two destinations which has been either paved or worked on to enable transportation by way or motorized and non-motorized carriage. There are many advantages of road transportation in comparison to other means of transportation. Maksudnya macam maksud transportation is sistem atau kaedah yang membawa penumpang atau barang daripada satu tempat ke tempat yang lain. Lepas tu maksud road transportation is pengangkutan jalan raya yang bermaksud pengangkutan barang atau peribadi dari satu tempat ke satu tempat. Jalan raya adalah laluan antara dua destinasi yang telah diturang. Next, type of road transportation. The first one we have walking, automobile, cycling, bus, heavy duty vehicle, and non-motorized transportation. Advantage of road transportation. First, less capital outlay. The cost of construction, operation and maintenance of road is way cheaper than that of the railway or air transportation. Second is door-to-door service. The greatest advantage of road transportation that makes it the core lifeline of the transportation industry is the ability to provide door-to-door from source to destination, warehouse to warehouse doorstep service. Maksudnya yang pertama ni pengeluaran modal yang kurang, kos pembinaan, operasi dan penyelenggaraan jalan jauh lebih murah daripada jalan kereta api ataupun pengangkutan udara. Yang kedua pula servis dari pintu ke pintu. Maksudnya macam kelebihan terbesar pengangkutan jalan raya yang menjadikan sebagai asas kehidupan industri. Pengangkutan adalah kemampuannya menyediakan pintu ke pintu dari sumber ke destinasi, gudang dan perkhidmatan di depan pintu. Next, we have disadvantage of road transportation. The first one is vulnerable to season and weather impact. Road transportation, instruction and travel is vulnerable to weather change and season. For instance, during rain or flood, roads become unfit and unsafe for use. Hence, motor transport proved to be less reliable than rail transportation in the event of volatile weather situation. The second one is accident and breakdown. There is definitely a high risk of accident and breakdown is in case of road transportation. This makes motor transport not a very predictable or safe option as compared to rail transportation. Maksudnya the first one is maksud dia rentan terhadap kesan musim dan cuaca. Struktur dan perjalanan pengangkutan jalan terdedah pada perubahan dan musim, perubahan cuaca dan musim. Contohnya semasa hujan atau banjir, jalan tidak sesuai dan selamat untuk digunakan untuk mengangkut barang. Oleh itu, pengangkutan bermotor terbukti kurang dipercayai daripada. Next, we have rail transportation. The definition of rail transportation is known as train transportation. It is a means of transport on vehicle which run on track. It is one of the most important, commonly used and very cost-effective modes and commuting and good carriage over long as well as short distance. This system is known as a train. Usually, trains are powered by an engine locomotive running on electricity or on diesel. Maksud dia, rail transportation ni sama dengan train transportation, sama je. Kereta api. Maknanya rail transportation ni pun boleh mengangkut barang dan boleh mengangkut barang. Dia menjimatkan masa. Kalau barang tu nak kena hantar jauh, dia menjimatkan masa. Dia maknanya dia lagi laju daripada road transportation. Next, we have type of rail transportation. The first one is urban rail transport, rapid transit, high speed railways, commuter rail, monorail, elevated railways, tram and streetcar, funicular. Next, we have advantage of rail transportation. The first is dependable. The greatest advantage of the railway transport is that it is the most dependable mode of transport, as it is the least affected by weather conditions such as rain. The second is cheaper transport. It is a cheaper mode of transport as compared to other modes of transport. Most of the working expenses of railway are in the nature of fixed cost. Maksud yang pertama ni maknanya dia boleh dipercayai. Kelebihan terbesar pengangkutan kereta api adalah bahawa ia adalah mode pengangkutan yang paling boleh dipercayai kerana tidak dipengaruhi oleh cuaca seperti hujan. Yang kedua, pengangkutan ni pengangkutan yang lebih murah. Ini adalah pengangkutan yang lebih murah berbanding pengangkutan yang lain. Sebilangan besar pembelanjaan kerja kereta api adalah seperti kos tetap. After that, we have disadvantage of rail transportation. First is huge capital outlay. The railway require a large investment of capital. The cost of the construction, maintenance and overhead expenses are very high as compared to other modes of transport. Moreover, the investment are specific and immobile. In case the traffic is not sufficient, The investment may mean wastage of huge resource. The second is monopoly. As railway require huge capital outlay, they may give rise to monopolies and work against public interest at large. Even if controlled and managed by the government, lack of competition may break in inefficiency and high cost. Maksud dia, yang pertama is pembelanjaan modal yang besar. Kereta api memerlukan pelaburan modal yang besar. Kos pembinaan, kos penyelenggaraan dan kos pembelanjaan overhead yang sangat tinggi jika dibandingkan dengan pengangkutan yang lain. Next is aviation transportation. The definition of aviation transportation is aviation is the activity surrounding mechanical flight and the aircraft industry. Aircraft include fixed wing and rotary wing types, movable wings, wingless lifting bodies, and as well as lighter than aircraft such as hot air balloons and airship. Maksud dia, penerbangan adalah aktiviti di sekitar penerbangan mekanikal dan industri pesawat terbang. Pesawat terbang merangkumi jenis sayap tetap dan putar-putar, sayap yang berubah bentuk, badan angkat tanpa sayap, serta kapal yang lebih ringan daripada udara seperti balon udara panas dan kapal udara. Type of aviation transportation is aeroplane, helicopter, hot air balloons, blimp, and gliders. Advantage of aviation transportation. First is high speed. It is the fast speed means of transport. Passenger and goods can be transported easily from one place to the others. Second is quick service. Air transport provide comfortable, efficient, and quick transport service. It is regarded as best mode of transporting perishable goods. Maksud dia, yang pertama, kelajuan tinggi. Pengangkutan yang berkelajuan tinggi ini adalah pengangkutan yang pantas. Penumpang dan barang dapat diangkut dengan mudah dari satu tempat ke satu tempat. Yang kedua, maksud dia perkhidmatan pantas. Pengangkutan udara menyediakan perkhidmatan pengangkutan yang selesa, cekap dan cepat. Ia dianggap sebagai kaedah pengangkutan terbaik untuk mengangkut barang-barang yang mudah rosak. Disadvantage of aviation transportation. First is risky. Air transport is the most risky form of transport because a minor accident may put a substantial loss to the goods, passenger and the crew. The chance of accident and greater in comparison to other modes of transport. Second is very costly. The transport is considered costlier as compared to other modes of transport. The operating costs of airplanes are higher and it involves a great deal of expenditure on the construction of the aerodrome and aircraft. Because of this reason, the fare of air transport are higher than common people can afford. Maksud yang pertama is berisiko. Pengangkutan udara adalah pengangkutan yang paling berisiko kerana kemalangan kecil dapat menyebabkan kerugian yang besar pada barang, penumpang dan anak-anak kapal. Kemungkinan berlaku kemalangan yang besar jika dibandingkan dengan mod pengangkutan yang lain. Yang kedua, pengangkutan yang sangat mahal. Pengangkutan udara dianggap mahal berbanding pengangkutan yang lain. Kos operasi pesawat udara lebih tinggi dan melibatkan perbelanjaan yang besar untuk pembinaan aerodromes dan pesawat. Oleh itu, harga pengangkutan udara sangatlah tinggi. The last one is maritime transportation. The definition of maritime transportation is maritime transportation refer to a means of transport where goods or people are transported via sea roads. In some cases, maritime transport can encompass pre- and post-shipping activity. Maksudnya, pengangkutan maritim merujuk kepada alat transportasi di mana barang atau orang diangkut melalui jalan laut. Dalam beberapa kes, pengangkutan maritim boleh merangkumi aktiviti sebelum dan selepas penghantaran. Type of maritime transportation, we have break bulk, neo bulk, containerized, liquid bulk, and dry bulk. Maritime transportation, first is less maintenance cost. Maintenance cost of water transportation is quite cheaper in comparison to maintenance costs involved in air and rail transport. This is also one of the main reasons because of which ocean freight rates are not high. The second is important for foreign trade. While airlines are increasingly used today for international shipping, oceans have been for long connecting the global trade market. Even till today, foreign trade is highly dependent upon ocean shipping. Maksud yang pertama adalah kos penyelenggaraan yang kurang. Kos penyelenggaraan pengangkutan air jauh lebih murah berbanding kos pengangkutan kos penyelenggaraan yang lain, yang rail, contohnya macam rail transportation dengan aviation transportation. Ini merupakan salah satu sebab utama kerana kadar pengangkutan laut tidak tinggi. Yang kedua adalah penting untuk pedagang luar negeri. Walaupun syarikat penerbangan semakin banyak digunakan hari ini untuk penghantaran antarabangsa, lautan telah lama menghubungkan pasaran perdagang global sehingga hari ini perdagang luar negeri sangat bergantung kepada penghantaran laut. Last one is a disadvantage of maritime transportation. First, we have slow peak. Ocean transportation is more time-consuming mode and it's ideal for those items we have a long lead time. Other transportation option like air freight can deliver item in maximum 2 or 3 days, while ocean freight might even take a month. Second is lack of infrastructure. Certain part of the world might not have facilities of port and terminal and can therefore not receive large ship carrying container. Usually, significance among a capital expenditure is essential to handle container-based network. Maksud dia, the first is kelajuan pengangkutan laut ni sangatlah perlahan dibandingkan dengan pengangkutan yang lain. Dia memakan masa lebih untuk mengangkut barang-barang mengangkut barang-barang lah. Maknanya kalau naik maritim ni, barang-barang yang mempunyai jangka masa yang panjang saja yang digalakkan menggunakan maritime transportation ni. Sebabnya kalau menggunakan transport yang lain, mungkin barang yang dihantar sampai dalam masa 2-3 hari, tapi Kalau maritime transportation ni mungkin dalam sebulan barang baru sampai. Lepas tu yang kedua, kekurangan prasarana. Sebilangan bahagian dunia mungkin tidak mempunyai kemudahan pelabuhan dan terminal. Oleh itu mereka tidak dapat menerima kapal besar yang membawa kontena. Biasanya jumlah besar pembelanjaan modal sangat penting untuk menangani rangkaian berasaskan kontena. Sekian, terima kasih.
We can travel on road by a car, bus, van, jeep, cycle, motorcycle, taxi, scooter. We can see many vehicles on the road, such as truck, lorry, ambulance, fire engine, police car, train is a means of transport on land. It runs on a track. It is the most popular means of transport and is very well connected. A train is in charge of an engine driver. We can travel on water by a ship or boat. Boats are used to travel small distances. Small boats are used by the fishermen to catch fish. Before air travel was discovered, people used to travel by ships. But it takes a long time to travel by a ship. A captain is in charge of a ship. We can travel in air by an aeroplane or helicopter. A pilot flies a plane and a co-pilot assists him in flying. Air travel is the fastest mode of transport and is preferred by everyone. Helicopters are used to cover small distances. Aeroplanes are used to travel from one place to another within a short span of time. Rockets are used to go to space. Astronauts travel by rockets to land on the moon. So, children, by using the different modes of transport, we can go from one place to another. It's fun, right? To go to Granny's place by train or just flying to your cousin's house. That's something that we really look forward to during the summer holidays.
So I'm going to continue the presentation with next topic, which is wastewater and wastewater management. Definition of wastewater and wastewater management. Wastewater treatment refers to the physical, chemical, and biological processes used to remove pollutants from wastewater before discharging it into a body of water. Maksudnya adalah rawatan air sisa ni dia akan merujuk kepada proses atau bagi kepada 3 proses, iaitu fizikal, kimia dan biologi yang digunakan untuk membuang bahan pencemar dari air sisa sebelum membuangnya ke dalam badan air. What can be done at wastewater treatment operations? There are several measures that communities and wastewater treatment plant operators can do to prevent pollution at treatment plants. Each of these guide sheets have suggestions on ways to prevent pollution. Jadi, terdapat beberapa langkah yang boleh dilakukan oleh komuniti dan pengusaha kilang rawatan air sisa untuk mencegah pencemaran di loji rawatan. Setiap helaian panduan ini mempunyai cadangan mengenai cara mencegah pencemaran yang berlaku. Here are few general tips to prevent wastewater. Okay, first, prevention wastewater. Second, maintain several lines and wastewater treatment facilities to prevent unintended or untreated discharges. And third is establish a screening mechanism for purchase of mechanicals to evaluate less toxic alternatives. And last but not least, evaluate opportunities for energy savings. Jadi, apa yang boleh lakukan untuk mencegah pembaziran air adalah pembuangan pencegahan air. And then yang kedua adalah menjaga saluran pembentuk dan kemudahan rawatan air sisa untuk mengelakkan pembuangan yang tidak disengajakan. Contohnya macam toxic from the factory, daripada kilang, atau tidak dirawat. Ketiga adalah menetapkan mekanisme saringan pembelian bahan kimia untuk menilai alternatif yang kurang toksik. Dan yang last sekali adalah untuk nilai peluang untuk penjimatan tenaga. Next is minimization wastewater. Shower instead of using a bucket. Another effective way to save water is by taking a shower instead of using a bucket. You can use a water-saving shower head to conserve water. The shower head helps in saving approximately 2 gallons of water per minute. Shower heads are screwed to the bottom of the tap and help in reducing flow of water. Jadi, next step untuk mengurangkan penggunaan air adalah mandi dengan menggunakan shower, which is air hujan tu berbanding daripada menggunakan air yang dalam baldi tu. And then anda juga boleh menggunakan kepala pancuran penjimatan air untuk menjimatkan air. Kepala pancuran tu dia membantu menjimatkan kira-kira 2 gallon air per minit. Jadi nampaknya kat sini boleh nampak yang menggunakan kepala pancuran tu memang dapat membantu menjimatkan penggunaan air. Kepala pancuran dicakar ke bahagian bawah akhiran dan membantu mengurangkan aliran air. Next is fix any leaks. Fixing leaks in the toilet and other areas of your home to avoid water wastage. Drop some food colour in your toilet pan and allow it to stay there for half an hour. If the colour remains in the bowl, there is a leak you need to repair. Fixing leaks can save a lot of water and reduce wastage. Last but not least is turn off the tap when brushing. A mistake that most of us make is not turning off the tap when brushing. Ensure that you turn off the tap when brushing your teeth and washing your hands, as it saves a lot of water. These little habits can make a lot of this. Jadi, step seterusnya untuk penjimatan air adalah betulkan sebarang kebocoran dengan memperbaiki kebocoran di tandas dan kawasan yang lain di rumah untuk mengelakkan pembaziran. Selalunya kita nampak yang kita punya air selalunya bocor, and then most of us selalunya biar macam tu je. Jadi daripada situ dah boleh berlaku pembaziran air. Untuk mengelakkan pembaziran air, kita kenalah fix any kebocoran yang berlaku untuk mengelakkan air terus keluarkan. Okay, letakkan sedikit warna makanan di dalam tangki tandas anda dan biarkan ia tinggal di sana selama setengah jam. Sekiranya warnanya kekal di dalam mangkuk, okay, so next is separation and recycling wastewater. The wastewater recycling system at CSE has been designed to treat 8,000 liters per day based on the accumulation that at any given moment at least 10% will be occupying the premises. The components involved in treatment are a settler, a bafflet reactor and a platter filter. Jadi maksudnya adalah sistem kita semula air sisa di CSE telah dirancang untuk merawat sebanyak 8,000 liter sehari berdasarkan andaian bahawa pada waktu tertentu sekurang-kurangnya 100 orang akan mengosongkan premises tersebut. Komponen yang terlibat dalam rawatan ada terbagi pada 3, iaitu peneroka, reaktor dan penapis yang ditanam. Next is collection and transfer. How do we collect wastewater? Wastewater samples will typically be collected either by directly filling the sample container or by using an automatic sampler or other device. During sample collection, if transferring the sample from a collection device, make sure that the device does not come in contact with the sample container. So, bagaimana kita mengumpul pembuangan air ataupun sisa air? Okay, sampel air sisa ni biasanya akan dikumpulkan sama ada dengan mengisi langsung bekas sampel atau menggunakan sampel automatik atau peranti lain. Semasa pengumpulan sampel, jika memindahkan sampel dari alat pengumpulan, pastikan bahawa peranti tidak bersentuhan dengan bekas sampel. So next is treatment and processing. Ozonated water treatment solutions has been installed around the world in industries such as pharmaceutical production, dairy, brewing, greenhouse wastewater treatment plants, bottling plants, and textile production. Furthermore, we also provide water treatment solution for comical swimming pools, aquariums, and water parks. Our water treatment applications are developed and can be tailored for many different industries. Maksudnya adalah penyelesaian rawatan air ozonitis telah dipasang di seluruh dunia dalam industri seperti pengeluaran fasa farmaceutical, tenusa, pembuatan bir, rumah hijau, loji, rawatan air sisa, kilang pembotolan dan pengeluaran tekstil. Selain itu, kami juga menyediakan penyelesaian rawatan air untuk kolam renang komersial, akuarium dan taman air. Aplikasi rawatan air kami dikembangkan dan dapat disesuaikan untuk berbagai industri yang bertujuan untuk menghilangkan pencemaran dari air proses. So, industri terlibat contohnya macam penyiraman, perikanan yang menggunakan any jobs any industri yang menggunakan air. Next is ultimate disposal and landfill. A landfill, also called as sanitary landfill, is a land disposal site for waste, which is designed to protect from environmental pollution and health risks. It is not the same as an open dump. Landfills are built to concentrate the waste in compacted layers to reduce the volume and monitor for the control of liquid and gaseous. Tempat pembuangan sampah adalah tempat penumpusan tanah untuk sampah yang dirancang untuk melindungi dari pencemaran alam sekitar dan risiko kesihatan. Contohnya risiko kesihatan yang akan dapat contohnya macam asma, sakit dada, kanser. Ia tidak sama dengan dam terbuka. Tapak pelupusan dibina untuk memusatkan sisa dalam lapisan yang dipadatkan untuk mengurangkan isi padu dan dipantau untuk mengawal influen cecair dan gas untuk melindungi alam sekitar dan kesihatan manusia. Kalau influen cecair dengan gas ni tersebar, dia macam tersebar, jadi alam sekitar mungkin akan tak sihat, contohnya macam udara yang kita sejuk tu pun akan menyebabkan kita jadi sakit. Contohnya lagi bahayalah untuk orang yang ada penyakit macam kanser ke asma ke kan, jadi lagi mudah untuk jatuh sakit macam tu. Next is water waste treatment. We consider wastewater treatment as a water use because it is so interconnected with the other uses of water. Much of the water used by homes, industries and businesses must be treated before it is released back to the environment. Jadi kami menganggap rawatan air sisa adalah penggunaan air kerana ia saling berkaitan dengan penggunaan air yang lain. Sebilangan besar air yang digunakan oleh rumah industri dan perniagaan harus dirawat sebelum dibuang ke persekitaran. Contohnya kalau dekat rumah kita terlalu guna air, banyaklah penggunaan air dekat rumah kan, sikit-sikit air. Kita macam basuh tangan, mandi, basuh baju, 24 jam guna air. Lepas tu kalau perniagaan tu macam kilang macam sisa toksik. Lepas tu penggunaan air juga kan.
Cities and towns have sewerage systems in place to carry the wastewater from our homes, hotels, factories, and other establishments to a sewerage treatment plant where the wastewater is treated. It is then deemed safe to release into other water sources. The treatment of wastewater goes through different stages. Wastewater is treated to remove the physical, chemical, and biological contaminants present in it through various processes. The pre-treatment process involves the sewage being sent through grids or vertical bars that can remove large solid substances like metal cans, paper, and plastic materials. In primary treatment process, the sewage flows through the grit chamber very slowly, so that the sand, pebbles, and soil settle down at the bottom. The sewage flows into the settling tank or sedimentation tank, where the solid wastes like feces are allowed to settle down. Wastes such as soaps, oils, and grease rise to the top of the wastewater. The waste material that settles down at the bottom is called the sludge, and the floatable material is called the scum. Scum is then removed using a skimmer, and sludge is removed with a scraper every few days. The water that is left out is called the clarified water. In the secondary treatment process, biological or organic wastes are removed. It is a biological process. This is done by transferring the clarified water into an aeration tank, where air blowers bubble air, which helps the aerobic bacteria to grow and feed on the organic contaminants such as food waste, feces, and other organisms. The mixture then flows from the aeration tank into the clarifier, where activated sludge settles out by gravity. The activated sludge so produced, along with the sludge produced in the primary process, is transferred to the digester, where it is decomposed by anaerobic bacteria. Biogas is produced in this process, which can be used as fuel or can be used to produce electricity. The activated sludge is then left in the sand drying beds. Some quantity of water in the activated sludge evaporates, and the remaining quantity drains through the sand beds. This leaves behind the remaining dried sludge, which can be used for making fertilizers or compost. In the tertiary treatment process, the leftover wastewater is treated with chlorine to remove the phosphorus compounds, nitrogen compounds, and bacteria. It is a chemical process. Chlorine tablets are added to kill the germs. This process is called chlorination. Then this water is let off into the water bodies.
Assalamualaikum, my name is NORISHA BALQIS binti BAKAR. My metric number is 03DPR20F1057. Today I'm going to present about agriculture and forestry. agriculture, crop and livestock production, and horticulture is the study of the growing, maintaining, and harvesting non-intensively managed crops and pastures, and grazing and managing animals. It includes the study of farming and producing unprocessed plant and animal products. Pertanian. Pertanian adalah mengenai penanaman, pemeliharaan dan penuaian tanaman dan padang rumput serta menguruskan haiwan. Forestry is about establish, cultivate, harvest and manage forests. This includes the production, protection and management of timber and specialty forest crops, the selection and grading of forest raw materials, and the utilization of forest lands for multiple purposes such as game preserve and recreation. Perhutanan. Perhutanan ini adalah dengan mendirikan, mengusahakan, menuai dan mengurus hutan. Perlindungan yang produksi, pengelolaan kayu dan tanaman hutan yang khusus, dan juga pemilihan dan pendalaman bahan mentah hutan dan memanfaatkan hutan untuk pelbagai tujuan seperti pengawetan, permainan dan rekreasi. Cropland management definition: any activity resulting from a system of practices applicable to land on which agriculture, crop are grown and on land that is set aside or temporarily not being used for crop production. When managing cropland, follow best management practices for best management. Use a crop rotation system that includes small grains and forage crops. Use cover crops for winter erosion control, soil health and wildlife benefit. Follow soil test recommendation and use variable rate fertilizer application. Use a no-till system. Avoid fall tillage. Crop residue protects the soil and wildlife use the grain left behind from harvest through the winter. Plant native warm season grass or wildlife friendly cool season grass around the border of all or a portion of your crop fields. Establish wildlife friendly grass filter strips around ponds and along creeks to reduce sedimentation, trap nutrients and add wildlife cover. Seed waterway to wildlife-friendly grass, legume mixtures, hay after the primary nesting period of May 1 to July 15. Protect woody draw and fancy rows. Spray this area May to late October with a herbicide to set back grass encroachment and encourage shrubby cover. Leave a minimum of 1 per 4 acre of unharvested standing crop for every 40 acres of crop field. Adjust to good cover. Grazing land management and posture improvement. Grazing land management definition. Grazing land management is about managing your cattle, numbers, types, and location to make the most of your pastures while maintaining or improving land condition and biodiversity. Healthy country means healthy cattle and a healthy, sustainable business. Managing for climates wherever possible also plays a significant role in your grazing land management strategies. Posture improvement definition. An improved posture is a shown posture that includes introduced posture specials. Improved pastures are generally more productive than local native pastures and usually combine grasses with a legume. Posture improvement improve further production degraded pasture land. Transformation of degraded pasture land to high quality fodder plot. Grass and legumes are planted on degraded pasture land in fenced fodder plots to improve the availability of quality forage and fodder for livestock during the dry season and to feed small ruminants. The technology also reduces runoff, increase water infiltration during the rains and lessens the effect of flood. Management of organic and peaty soils. Organic soils, commonly called peat or muck, have developed from plant residues and been preserved by a high water table. Many generations of plants growing for descent have fallen in the water in which they were growing and been preserved because of the lack of oxygen. It takes nature about 500 years to accumulate 30 cm of organic soils. Organic soils are used extensively for vegetable production in Ontario and with proper management will produce excellent crops year after year. Peat salts vary greatly in acidity and fertility, affecting their sustainability for crop production. Challenges of agricultural production peat salts include waterlogging, low fertility and typically high acidity. However, this can be variable. Peat salts that are less acid will have larger amount of plant available nutrients. Organic soils are also susceptible to a phenomenon called subsidence. Subsidence describe a lowering of the soil surface elevation which leaves the soil type high, prone to rapid soil erosion and degradation. It is assumed that even under optimal soil management, organic soil subsides 2 to 5 centimeter each year. Forestry is the science and craft of creating, managing, playing, using, conserving and repairing forests, woodlands and associated resources for human and environmental benefits. Forestry is practiced in plantation and natural stands. The science of forestry has elements that belong to the biological, physical, social, political and managerial sciences. Forestry adalah membuat, mengurus, mengguna, memelihara dan memperbaiki hutan dan sumber berkaitan untuk manfaat manusia dan alam sekitar. Forestry ini diamalkan dekat ladang dan kawasan yang semula jadi. Ilmu perhutanan yang mempunyai unsur-unsur termasuk dalam sains biologi, fizikal, sosial politik dan juga pengurusan. That's all from me. Thank you.